Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori if you're new here. Today I have a very special guest. I have my mom wanting us to make a healthy Thanksgiving dinner.
I'm so excited about making this healthy Thanksgiving dinner. What makes it healthy is the mere fact that we're not cooking with the sodium and we're not cooking with gluten. So it's a gluten-free, salt-free Thanksgiving meal.
What are we having?
So, girl, this is my favorite Thanksgiving meal. Turkey and dressing made from a homemade cornbread stuffing. We're also going to have collard greens, candied yams, a green bean casserole. And then for dessert, we're going to have a sweet potato pie and a pecan pie.
What do we need to do first?
Suggesting to many people, in order to cook and make the most out of your time, you want to start with those things that have to be pulled out of the way. So we're going to start with making the boiling the sweet potatoes. That's for the sweet potato pie. And by the way, instead of doing a whole turkey, I decided to do a turkey breast today.
Yeah, turkey breast is like the healthiest part of
the turkey. Right? Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm so proud.
Well,
I taught you a lot.
With turkey breast, with the leftover turkey breast, you can do like a turkey sandwich,
turkey salad, turkey tetrazzini. You can make so many different turkey recipes with that leftover turkey. You can even make a turkey pot pie.
Yeah.
I forgot the mac and cheese.
Mom, how can you
forget that? Oh my gosh. Like oh my gosh, I forgot. And it's going to be a gluten-free macaroni and cheese.
Let's get started, you guys.
And you wash them before you put them in your pot to boil. And put your potatoes in there. And you're going to boil the potatoes for about 45 minutes until they're soft. And you're going to test them with a fork to make sure they're soft and ready to take off. Put it to the side. We're going to put our turkey breast together. What we have here is the avocado oil, some poultry season, some sage, it's like a Miss Dash seasoning.
Mrs. Dash, yeah.
It's like a Mrs. Dash is salt free. And then I have fresh, and we're going to put this under the skin, fresh sage, and in this case, a little basil, because I want some sweetness. Instead of adding sugar to things, you can add basil, and basil helps sweeten things. Not too much basil, because it's not an Italian meal, but basil does make things taste a little bit better. All right, I'm going to bathe this in, yes, I said bathe. This in avocado oil. So before I did all this, I washed it thoroughly. I pulled back the skin and washed it as much as possible, with just water to make sure it was clean. Next, I'm going to take my sage. This is sage, and I'm going to put leaves of sage all around the turkey breast. I'm going to go ahead and add the no salt, like Mrs. Dash, if you have Mrs. Dash. I have the regular sage. I got the real sage, and then I'm just going to put a little. I'm going to add some poultry seasoning to make sure the flavors are brought out. Yes, this is going to do it, guys. Next and finally is my basil. I don't want all of that. Can you take some off for me? One more leaf, please. So with this, I'm just going to stick it inside there with this, and we are going to have those flavors coming out. I'm going to wash my hands off and get some aluminum foil and wrap it in there, okay? Right, now it's time for that southern cornbread we're going to make. But now, differently, we have our flaxseed meal, our baking powder that's gluten-free, our meal that's gluten-free, and our flour that's gluten-free. And instead of regular eggs, today we're going to use egg beaters, substitute eggs for cholesterol-free. Remember, we're making healthy. For our oil, instead of the traditional uh, Crisco oil or things of that nature. We've chosen avocado oil. Healthier for you, digest is better, all of those good things. So we do need some baking soda. So now it's time for that cornbread stuffing. I'm gonna turn the oven on 375, and we're gonna go ahead and get our cast iron skillet, if you have it, ready. We're gonna coat the bottom of the skillet with oil. And as you'll see, I have coated the bottom of the skillet with the oil so that the cornbread won't stick. So we added a cup of flax wheat flour and we put that in. And now we're going to add to that 2 cups of stone ground Bob's cornmeal, because this is much better cornmeal than a regular cornmeal you receive from the store. So 1, just so much healthier. 2. To that, we're going to add a half a cup of flour, gluten-free flour, just a half a cup. Add about 2 eggs to this before we add the baking powder. That's about 2 eggs. Do a teaspoon of baking powder, because nothing in this is going to rise without this baking powder in it, honey. Also, we're going to add some baking soda because the meal that we used did not have any sodium in it. So baking soda is going to be healthier than salt. Now we're going to mix our milk. And as you can see, I have some Carnation low-fat 2% gluten-free milk. And I'm going to put about a half a can of that in here and stir. I'm going to add the rest of the milk because we're going to use a can of milk in this whole ingredient. Started with a half a can, and now we're adding the rest of that to this. That's about the consistency. So we have to add our oil. This is 1/3 of a cup of oil. I think that's about right.
And that's avocado oil?
Yes, avocado oil. You want to cook with extra virgin olive oil and avocado oil. Those 2 oils and a couple of others are much better to cook with. This is ready to go into our skillet now and put it in the oven for about 30 minutes. It's best to put it on the bottom shelf so that the cornbread gets brown at the bottom. We don't care about the top being as brown because we're putting it in a stuffing.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that cornbread. That looks wonderful. That cornbread up. We sauteed some onions, bell peppers, and celery. Sauteed in a little of the avocado oil. And we're going to pour that sauteed vegetables over there. And on the oven also, we started making it earlier today, was our broth to go in. We don't want to buy store broth because it contains sodium. The thing about dressing, what makes the best dressings is bell peppers as well as celery. Putting those in there helps to bring out the flavor. We're going to cut up some sage, but we're going to also add sage and poultry seasoning to this. So you see the broth, I don't know if you can see it, and we're going to be adding that here, just putting it in. should be on, you want this on a little bit higher than 350. I would say have the oven on 365 for the dressing because you want those eggs and stuff to cook through. All right?
Baby girl had to make her appearance.
Next. So the next thing is our gluten-free macaroni and cheese. So
I'm excited for this.
yeah, that's your favorite, isn't it? Yeah. Macaroni and cheese. So what we want is 6 cups of water. And you can read the instructions on the box of macaroni. What we're doing is 6 cups of water, add salt to taste, but we're not doing salt. The water comes to a boil. We put the macaroni in and let it cook for 7 minutes. And we'll drain it and we'll stir in our other ingredients, our butter, we're gonna put 3 eggs, a stick of butter, and some cheese. I like a lot of cheese. We're gonna put that in, and milk. I have a box of gluten-free macaroni. This is 12 ounces, and I've already put the water on the pot, on the oven to start boiling. So I chose Barilla macaroni, gluten-free. You can get any kind. Next, we're gonna go ahead and make our macaroni. Our noodles are now ready. We're going to start with 1/4 of a cup of egg beaters, which equals to 2 eggs. And we're going to drain that water off. In this recipe, we used 2 eggs. Can you give me some butter, some pepper, some Cajun seasoning, and some greens, because we're not using salt. A young lady, and she's like, "Mom, I want to cook," and she'd come in the kitchen, she'd want to cook things, and I was like, "Okay." And then she says, "I got a dish I want to make," and she'd make something with some.
It'd be slop.
It'd be slot, but as a mother, we gotta go along with the program, I'd be like, "Oh, this is delicious." So I think you have to be encouraging to your children. You just can't put them down. But for me, it was good. She would mix chocolate and things of that nature. So what I just put in there was 2 sticks of butter, and this is plant-based butter. Plant-based butter is gluten-free, animal-free, all of that good stuff. I'm gonna add some pepper. I love me some black pepper in my macaroni and cheese. Some people say, no, that's a little bit much, but I like it. I think it adds a bit of flavor. So I'm mixing the greens in here now to add more flavor to the macaroni and cheese. So we're going to do 2 bags and 1/4 of a bag of cheese. So I'm using a bag of cheddar. The key to a good macaroni is really 3 or 4 different kinds of cheese. So I had Kobe, I had mild cheddar, yeah girl, and I'm going to add 3 cheese Mexican to it. So we're going to have all of those cheeses to the macaroni.
If you're trying to watch your sodium levels, you can use a different type of cheese. Like I know cottage cheese, ricotta cheese. Usually the white cheeses have less sodium than the yellow cheeses. Just if you're trying to watch your sodium levels.
I totally agree. So I'm doing a 30 ounce of plain Greek yogurt, and I'm putting half of it in the macaroni. I'm going to add almond milk in place of some of the other milks. I would say that's about 1.5 cups of milk. It's kind of watery, but that's why I wanted the Greek yogurt to make it a little, kind of thicker. Take us no longer than 45 minutes to bake in the oven. Next, what we're going to do is get our collard greens ready. We're cooking collard greens with kale, and I usually go ahead and buy the cut up greens instead of me having to cut the greens myself. I did that with both the collard greens as well as the kale. They're already pre-washed. For a lot of us, we don't trust things, so we'll go ahead and wash them ourselves. Wash them again, those in the pot. And I'm going to take a whole onion, a yellow onion, or I prefer sweet Vidalia onions. Hey, the South, baby, they're great. The secret to collard greens without meat in them is the apple cider vinegar, the pepper vinaigrette. This stuff is great. So that's going to add to it. And then olive oil. I can use our Mrs. Dash seasoning as well as some Cajun seasoning for the seasoning of our collard greens. So as far as our collard greens are concerned, for oil, for the fat, I'm going to add 1.5 cups of olive oil to the greens. Or you want about 1.5 cups of olive oil on these greens. 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar. You want that acidic flavor on it. You also want, like I said earlier, and this adds a little spice to it. You want 1 onion. Could you grab me an onion out of the refrigerator? And see, I just took the top off, and this is just Texas Pete pepper sauce. It is so great, and the peppers in it that you put in there is going to add flavor to the greens. Just want to do because I wanted to blend out, and it's the greens, no salt. And I'm adding this to it for flavoring.
Do you want me to chop this in?
No, I just want the skin off so we can just put it in. The pot already, I put in about 12 cups of water in here. So we're going to put these on. All right, we're going to put the top on that and just let that cook. The potatoes are ready. They boiled for 45 minutes, like we said. We checked them, we stuck a fork in them, and they were soft. We took the skin off. We're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla flavoring, about 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and about 2 teaspoons of nutmeg. Okay? Oh, that's about 2.
You guys, she has a measuring.
That's about 2. And the nutmeg. Can you open that for me?
You guys, comment down below if you guys measure your ingredients, or do you just season until your ancestors tell you stop?
They season into their ancestors tell it. And once you start cooking, it's hard for you to measure. You know, I'm measuring for you. That's 3 teaspoons of maple syrup. 4. We did 4 teaspoons of that. We need some nutmeg in this. Thank you, Tori. So be adding that in. The butter. I put a stick of butter in here because it's something about butter. This just makes it taste better.
Butter makes everything.
Yeah. Add some brown sugar and the marshmallows. The marshmallows will help hold it together. I usually put egg in the casserole and raisins. If you want to, do that, you can do the raisins in the recipe as well if you'd like. The only raisins I have in the house right now is some chocolate covered raisins. And knowing me,
you guys, if you know my mom in real life, you know she would try that.
I would try that. And I'm sitting here thinking about how the flavors will work together. And I think it may work, but I'm not going to do it.
You guys, and marshmallows are gluten-free and they're also low calorie.
Yes. Can you open that brown sugar for me? We're going to add 1 cup of brown sugar. I'm going to add a little more cinnamon for flavoring.
What's your favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday because I am a turkey and dressing girl. I love dressing. I love the things that we're cooking here today. I realize that I have to not have so much of the gluten or the salt based on what the doctor has shared with me. And understanding now that we have a family history that includes salt sensitivity. In this here, we're going to have 1 cup of sugar. So I'm just going to kind of gauge what 1 cup is like. about like, most cooks, they like gauging stuff and you're like, that is not a cup. That look like 5 cups. But I
kind of like that sugar. Because like she said, we'll have the recipe listed.
So we got some marshmallows, just some cheap marshmallows from the store. We'll do half a bag here of marshmallows, and it's going to be really good and marshmallowy. I probably put too many in, but whatever. It'll taste good and we'll eat it all up. So we're ready to put that in the oven and let it cook on 375 for about 45 minutes. And we'll begin to see it bubble up. I want the ingredients, the liquids in the side of it to cook up and melt. So, but we got something going there. We have a nice sweet potato souffle. All right. Now it's time for our pecan pie, another Southern favorite. So we already have a gluten-free pie crust shell here. You can find them in your freezer section or order them online, but gluten-free pie crust shell. So our ingredients also is going to be some, instead of the regular white sugar, we're going to use the coconut sugar. We're going to use the light corn syrup. We have here the butter, a fourth of a cup of butter. And we have pecan half and some vanilla flavoring. That's it. That's all you have to add, and some eggs. And so we're using egg beaters again. But first we're going to add our butter. We're going to add a cup of corn syrup, or a cup of sugar first, since we have that out. And then we'll add a cup of corn syrup. Yeah. A teaspoon of vanilla flavoring. 3 eggs. So we're going to add these pecans. And that was 10 ounces of pecans, halves. So we're mixing all that together. You didn't know pecan pie worked like this, did you? You didn't know that it was this easy to make
I did
not
pie. Know it was that easy, honestly.
Yep. There you have it. It is ready for our pie crust shell. Just that easy. Only takes a few minutes. Now we're ready to put it in the oven. We're going to put that in the oven on 350, which we've been working around that speed today. And it's going to bake for 50 to 60 minutes until it's golden set and the crust is golden brown. So we are working with this.
That concludes today's video. Mom, thank you so much for doing this video with me and for cooking and for showing the viewers how to make a healthier version of Thanksgiving. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Please comment down below what your favorite Thanksgiving food is.
I just would say it was excellent just to be able to have this shared family time together, cooking a meal for loved ones. But not only give feedback, also like it and share it with others. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, you guys.
Bye-bye. Thank you.